Hey guys, hi guys. So we just get started. We barely have time. We have half an hour. So we get started with Android prototyping. Okay. So this is the agenda for today. We start with what is prototyping. Okay. Like you've heard this term prototyping. We discussed a lot, even under the talk about prototyping and so on. So we discussed what is prototyping. So why should we care about prototyping? And we'll take some examples of how people have used this modeling of prototyping. We'll look at some case studies, and then we'll look at some tools. So, quick show of hands. How many of you developers? Okay, awesome. You can hear me right at the back. Awesome. So, quick introduction about myself. I'm the co-founder of a company called Trace. We're into mobile application development. Also one of the co-organizers of PLR Joint, Bangalore Android User Group. Heard of PLR Joint? Yes, awesome. So I'm also the creator of an application called Sky Recorder. You can see the application on the side. It's available on the Play Store, and I read as S0H4M. So what is prototyping? So, prototyping is basically a means of exploring ideas before you invest in them. So, like, prototyping is not something unique to Android or user design or computer science, right? Architects prototype their designs before making the actual buildings. So, you know that if somebody's building a bridge, you don't build the bridge first and then make the model, right? You have to first make the model and then make the bridge. So if you're making a car, that could be any kind of car, first you have to make the design, the model, and then slowly come with the exact car design itself. Similarly, filmmakers make a storyboard, aeronautic engineers make a design of the aircraft before they actually make it. So prototyping is basically exploring what you can do with the idea before you actually go ahead and build the idea. What is the use of prototyping? So I basically look at prototyping in a threefold way. There are three basic uses. First is proof of concept. So if you have an idea in mind, you should make a smaller scale model of the structure so that you know that it works. Right? So if you're building a big aircraft, you should make a smaller scale version so that you're sure that it flies, it makes sense, has the right wind and simulations, pass all those tests. So it has to work. So it's basically a proof of concept of the final idea. It also helps to understand the design of the whole application or structure. So if you think some button is on the right place, or you want to put a button over there, or a number of tabs, so it gives you the ability to explore those designs before you actually make the application. Also gives you an opportunity to see the technical capabilities of an idea. So let's say you have an idea where you have to show 5 or 6 different photographs on the screen. And then you finally decide that the user might be able to scroll, right? So you have to show not 5 or 6, but maybe 30 or 40 different photographs. So you have to load more photographs on the screen. So that is where you have to understand that you don't need to load more stuff, your program has to do more. So you have to explore the technical capabilities of your program. So for all these reasons, right, first of all, to understand how your program works, to see what your design is like, and to see the technical capabilities of the system, you need prototyping. Any questions to this one? Okay. So we look at the prototyping process and how you can start prototyping, right? So the first thing you have to do is determine requirements. So if you're building an application, first step is to understand what are the requirements of the customer. So let's say you're building a music player app. Right? The requirements are A, to be able to play music, B, to be able to search for all the songs on the system. So you have to gather all the requirements. Based on the requirements, you can create a base prototypes. So that's the second phase. You take the requirements and then design prototypes of these of them. So let's say for a music player application, you make one screen for playing the music, the other screen for listing down all the different contents. First case again is determining requirements, second step is making the prototype itself. Third step is evaluating the prototype. So you have a prototype ready, any kind of sketch or whatever it is, you have to evaluate it. You have to give it to users so that they can understand that and use it and see what are the shortcomings or the good aspects of the device and the application. The important point to note over here is that the whole process is iterative. So let's say you have some requirements, you make a prototype and then the user tests the prototype. The whole objective is iterative. So you go back to the starting phase after you finish some kind of design. So maybe the user didn't like the play button in that position or the list is not that clear. But you go back, gather more requirements of the user and then come back and make another prototype. That's better. So prototyping is a very iterative process. It keeps on going. So let me give you an example of this whole process. So this is a Twitter application. So putting the same process in place, what would you like better in this application? Right? We all use the Twitter app, the official Twitter app for Android. Really, what would you like better in this case? In this application. What would you? Any suggestions? You really love the Twitter app? Or there are some modifications? Yes. Yes, exactly. That's my biggest thing. I hate that I have to click on the top and go to the next page, right? It's very IUIC and doesn't look good. So somebody thought of those requirements and made a prototype. So it's not a real application. You see on the right hand side, this is a prototype made by a very famous guy Google Plus. You can see that it's replaced the tabs on the top with the scrolling view feature. So it makes a lot of sense. Now, you don't have to click the tab on the top, but you can scroll from that. Let me zoom in. You can see the tabs have been replaced by scrolling view feature. Makes a lot of sense. And that is how you prototype. You take some idea, you take some requirement, you improve on it. So next we look at a case study for an application. It's called Google Timer. How many of you have heard of Google? Okay, good. No, none of you have heard of it. So this is a very nice, very cool timing application, like a software application for Android. And this is how it all began. So some engineers at Google I/O started working on this application. It's a very simple timer application. And this is how it all started. On a drawing board, they just drew some figures, and they thought about this really cool looking timer. And this was the initial phase where they made some drawings, and this is their basic prototype. And in the end, it looks something like this. It looks very similar to the final design. You can see how the text is very large, you can see how much time is remaining, and so on. So it looks very cool. And if you compare the prototype versus the final design, you can see how it's very similar. All the design aspects are there, the central circle is there, the times are there, the action bar is there. So everything is there, and it makes a lot of sense. So any question on this part? This is a case study from Google, and it's a very good example of how you take a very simple aspect, it's one activity, and you can make a prototype out of it. Since we don't have a lot of time, we just move on to the next topic, which is tools for prototyping. So we have a lot of different tools for prototyping. This is very important because this is what you can take away from this talk and understand how you can use these tools to make your life better. So we basically have three different categories. This is my categorization. And you have these old school techniques, and then you have those new generation techniques. The newer generation applications are divided into totally free and then commercial applications. So there are some really cool free applications and there are some really good commercial applications as well. So let me start with old school tools. First tool I'd like to talk about is a stencil. How many of you use a stencil, not an Android stencil, any kind of stencil? Awesome. So the first tool is an Android stencil, which looks something like this. I also have a stencil over here in case you guys are interested. So very good stencil. You can keep it on any kind of drawing board and then draw the full phone layout. You can have anything from the action bar to pictures and everything. So you can see the guy who has made a very nice contacts application, and this is completely made extensive. So if you don't have to make a lot of effort, you can use these kind of stencils and create very basic applications very, very fast. It's old school, but it's very, very effective. So even these kind of printed paper, all this is available on the internet. You can print this out and you can have really cool phone works. I can share with you on a very, very stencils, about $29 or so. It's a lot of sense. Other techniques are, of course, pen and paper. You don't need a pencil or a stencil to get started. You can just take any piece of paper and start working on a design. Whiteboard is very, very effective for drawing and redrawing your designs. And then paper cutouts. It has some URLs where some links where you can go and get the exact shape of a phone. You can get the shape of a galaxy and just draw and stuff on it. And these are the old school techniques. So, very, very old techniques made by all of us. Some really good. So now coming to the newer generation tools. The first tool we talk about is pencil. Okay, this is not a pencil I talked to you about before. Pencil stencil. This is a different tool, it's called pencil. How many of you have heard of pencil? Awesome. So this is a really cool tool. Initially it was launched as a plugin from Mozilla Firefox, but now it's a completely standalone tool. The cool thing about this is it's completely free, and the prototype you see over there is made completely using sense. So you can make tablet layouts, you can make phone layouts, looks pretty easy. And Android 4.0 sensors are available, so it works really well for newer and older generation prototypes. It's available for all platforms, Mac, Linux, Windows, and it's easy to use. So next, we have a look at some commercial tools, first of which is wireframe sketchup. How many of you have heard of wireframe sketchup? Awesome. So we have some examples. This is what it looks like. And you must be thinking, oh, this looks very much like Eclipse, right? Very basic Eclipse as well. So, basically, again for Eclipse, you don't have to go outside Eclipse to make your prototypes. Just plugs in and you can make any kind of prototype right within that. Very, very cool. And as you can see, you can make prototypes for not only Android applications, but packages. And it works really well. Give an example, this is a prototype that is in wireframe sketchup. You can see like 4 different kinds of own designs. Designing themselves are a little cartoony, but it works really well. So wireframe sketchup comes as an Eclipse plugin and as a standalone application. The cool thing about this is about collaborative version control. So let's say I have a team of 5 designers or 6 to 7 different people, and all of them need to get signed off on design, all the prototypes. What you do is you have a version 1.0. I said right, it's a repeated thing. So you have version 1.0, you make some changes, you launch 1.1. It's all done, it's all taken care of. It's all approval processes, version control, it's all done. So it works really well for small teams and you can wireframe pretty much anything, not only Android applications. It costs about $99 for one license, and this is made by one guy called Pedro. Next application is called Omega. How many of you heard of Omega? Awesome. So Omega is a very, very good professional wireframe and prototyping tool, and looks something like this. The downside of Omega is that it only comes for Mac and the iPad. So you don't have a Windows version. But the cool thing about this is very good tool, and you have official Android stencils like this. These come straight from Google, and although they're a bit cartoon, they work really well. They have a keyboard, when an Android launches a new version of the OS, the newer keyboard is right there, you don't have to do anything. And it's an industry standard, basically. most designers and Android developers use on the app. Comes in two different price packets. First one is $99, the other one is $199, depending on the range of features and app. The next application is called mockups. How do you work this? It's a very versatile application. You have all kinds of stencils, all kinds of wireframes. As you can see over here, you can draw anything from web pages, presentations, phone mockups. Again, the good thing to note about this, note how this is all in a browser. It's like one browser. You see as it's Safari at the top, you can drag and drop stuff, and you don't need any kind of browser. It's always over there, which is very, very cool. So it's got a desktop version, it has a web version, also has a plugin that plugs into Google Drive. So you don't need to download anything, just log into Google Drive, find lots of stuff out there, and then you can have collaborative version control, all those things to do with Drive release. Makes a lot of sense for teams and operations. So it comes for about $79 for one license. And it's very easy to use. Again, it comes for all platforms. The next tool is the Rotate Photoshop. How do you not work? So this is not really Rotate Photoshop, but two or three different tools. Rotate Photoshop, Illustrator, as well as Fireworks. All the three tools have a lot of capability in making prototypes on Android. So I'm giving a screenshot of my prototype. So for my application, I tried all the prototypes in Rotate Photoshop. Works really well, and the thing about this is you're not restricted to what Android tells you. Like you can do anything from scratch, be the background or buttons and things. So you have complete freedom in Photoshop. Photoshop is very, very versatile. Get lots of wireframes, get them from Google, get them from third-party developers. Used by UI designers and really across the world. Again, this is from Photoshop, Illustrator, as well as Fireworks. The downside is it's very, very difficult to use and costs a hell of a lot. It says anything costs. If you're buying this for just Android UI mockups, just don't buy it and take all the money and that's it. So that covers it for the tools that you can use. These are some additional tools that you can use to, once you have generated the prototype, what to do with it, right? These are tools to go beyond that, to see how your application looks in real time. First thing we'll look at is the device range generator. How many of you have heard of device range generator? So let's say I have designed a mockup which looks like this. It's not a mockup, but say it looks like this. It has a very screen resolution and everything. What you can do is take this screenshot and convert it to something like this. What this basically does is takes the screenshot, puts the frame of the phone around it. It's completely free application. It's actually a web page. You can go, just drag a picture onto the phone, and what you do is generate the device around it. So you have device screens for all kinds of devices, for all the XI phones, for Galaxy Nexus, Nexus, even Galaxy S3, HTC One X, Nexus 7. So you can make your presentation to your customer or to your stakeholders. You should make really nice prototypes, right? So this should help you, get almost complete feel of your device. You get all kinds of different devices. Okay, you don't have to do anything, just drag it on the picture on the frame. And the last thing that I talk about is the Android device preview. How many of you have heard of Android device preview? Just these are the hardcore developers, so they know about it. So this is a screenshot of device preview. If you have time, we'll walk through the device preview software and see how it works. So what you have over here is a prototype of the application on the left hand side. This is a prototype of the Google I/O application 2011. And on the right hand side, you see the real device. So if you have a prototype that's ready on the screen is shown on the device. Right? You can see that the Photoshop whatever is there at the screen is now shown on the real device. Okay. So I'll probably give a live demo of this. Okay, let's have a live demo. So any questions to this point?
Before we take on the questions, I'm requesting all the audience to decide any event times that they are using, and also for a couple of minutes you have to turn on the Wi-Fi hotspots. Thank you. Okay. Tell us about drawing times, any event time that you are using, maybe in the background. Because it matters.
You guys hear me? Yeah. At the back? Okay. So what you do is connect your phone to your laptop using USB cable, and then download the software. It's called Device Review. Let's start the software. It's an executable that's there for both Windows and Mac. Looks very small window like this. I mean, that looks very fancy, right? Looks something like this. So it tells you, where is the source. If you have designed your product, how to show it on the screen. Either you take a screen or you take a file. So I'll use the screen. Starting Photoshop here. You can see I have, this is my prototype, let's say, and I will say select mirror region. Select mirror region. And then it will basically remove this window, which I can just move, like this. And then I can put this window wherever I want on the screen, like this. And you can see that my phone will show the exact same thing. Okay. So you can see the prototype in real time on your phone. So any area of the screen that you want to cover, you can basically cover using this. So I'll just reduce the size of this. Okay. And then once you're ready, just double click on it. And you can see how it looks on my phone. Right? It's the exact same thing that you designed on your phone. So you can just hold the phone in your hand, you can actually get a feel of the application, how it fits on the screen and so on. So you can come and have a look after this. So you can see how the three buttons work and so on. It works really well, and you can do this for landscape, for portrait. If you put it in landscape, you automatically do a design to show this. So any questions about Android design? Almost out of time. So again, to recap, first of all, we discussed why prototyping was useful, and then we moved into the different ways we can do prototyping, and in the end, we see once you prototype something, how to basically see that on the device or see it on a virtual device. And that's really important. So the objective is to start prototyping and use this for your applications. This presentation is at bit.ly/Soham. Any questions? Yes. Yes.
Hi. Great. then got very high levels which you can access and these shop stores and what have you.
Yes.
So you point on
Sure. So it's a very good question. Okay. So if you look at a couple of the older tools, if you look at wireframe special, it's a very basic tool. So you can, with half an hour in your hand, you can make very big walk-ups, right? If you want to show kind of something, it's very big, something you want right away, you use wireframe special. And this is not for a permanent, this is like the first phase of program. Once you're satisfied with the basic look and functionality of the application, that's when you need to move on to something even more professional. Right? That's when you need to move on to Photoshop, because then you get the real pixels and real background and so on. So that's the next phase. So once you begin with something like wireframe special or custom contrast. And later stage, you need to move on to something more professional. So what developers typically do is take Photoshop altogether, just take some kind of wireframe schedule, and then build the actual applications. So it depends on if you have a lot of time for your development cycle, it gives you that freedom to explore Photoshop or Illustrator. I would definitely recommend it. So, or you can do something like you take the pen and paper, that approach, where you take pen and paper, produce wireframe schedule, do that, and then directly move to Photoshop. But it makes a lot of sense.
And my second question, sorry, is about edge cases. So I've developed quite a lot of apps with those types, and a lot of the times I find with the edge cases, the point cases aren't edgeable. Is that a structure in the design, or is that not as well for those types of things?
It's a very good point. So, when we come up with different kinds of corner cases, what we do is we go back to the design and you can create it. So you make a specific prototype for those corner cases. What we do is we do only the wireframe prototype. You don't do the whole Photoshop because that takes a lot of time. So just do the wireframe for these corner cases and then just go back to the wireframe application.
A lot of tools you talk about are about the design of a single page and getting it right. When you're designing, for instance, a website with a lot of transitions, a lot of pages, you want the workflow. You prototype and test it before you go live and start developing. Are there tools where you can put together a number of screens on an Android device and actually test out the prototype to the exact view before you actually start?
So for a real Android device, you don't have something like that. Right? So what you can do is use something like OmniGraph, which gives you the whole workflow. You can generate the workflow and save it over there. But while testing on the device, using Android device preview, you have to do it on Android, like manually. It's not there.
The question is that we have speaker will be able to offline and we can have a discussion.
Exactly.
So, the now, it's great. So, coffee is outside.